Hi, my name is Jonas, this is Sublime Media, and on this channel I talk about records and record related stuff. Like today when we are going to talk about Blue Note records. Yes, oh yes, I've been on a huge Blue Note kick lately and I've been buying some stuff that I felt like lacked in my collection. But also some that were on sale. So I just piled them all up with the ones that I've listened to now and thought of doing one video of them all. But before we get into the records, cue music. So I don't think that it comes as any sort of news to anyone that Blue Note is reissuing some of their best stuff in their catalog, and it's a pretty big and good catalog. They are calling one part of the series the Classic Series, which is 180 gram vinyl in ordinary jackets, mastered by Kevin Gray, and all that jazz. They go for like 30 to 35 euro a pop. Then you have the Tone Poet series, and with the Classic series it's more like the commercial classics sort of. With the Tone Poets it's more like the stuff that was shelved back in the day. A lot of them were recorded in the 50s and 60s but wasn't released until the 80s. Heavy titles, and finally getting the good sort of Blue Note treatment that they deserved back in the day. And they are going for about 50 euro maybe, somewhere along that line. So two different. I'm gonna start with my Classic series that I have bought. And I mean, starting here, this is one of the, maybe 2-3 months ago this was released. This is Tina Brooks' True Blue. This was recorded and released in 1960. I think there were a time span of 6 months before it was released. This was not selling much back in the day, so this fast became, at least in modern times, one of the most rare and most expensive original pressings if you wanted this on original pressing in Blue Note. I've had a 90s version of this that sounded so. So when they announced that they were going to add this to the Classic series with the Kevin Gray treatment, I was just thrilled. It's not the best Blue Note record you have ever heard, but it's definitely worth checking out. It didn't deserve the treatment that it got back in the day. And on this one you have Freddie Hubbard on trumpet, which is fastly growing to be my favorite trumpet player. Tina Brooks on tenor sax. You have Duke Jordan on piano, Sam Jones on bass, and Art Taylor on drums. I think that all except one tune is penned by Tina Brooks. And this is the only record that he released on Blue Note. Unfortunately, I have to say. He sat in on other sessions. This is the only one that he released as a leader. So the next one is also like 3-4 months old maybe. This is New Time with Sonny Rollins. Let's see here. The lineup here is Sonny Rollins on tenor sax, Wynton Kelly on piano, Doug Watkins on bass, and Philly Joe Jones on drums. A pretty good lineup. Recorded in 1957. Wasn't released until 1960, I think. So 2 or 3 years in between the recording and the actual release. This is the third one that Rollins recorded for Blue Note. Please help me here if you know, because why didn't they release this until 2 years later? I mean, this is 1957 to 60. It's a huge sort of jazz is really evolving in this time period. 1959 modal jazz with kind of blue, you know, Miles Davis, and this is maybe more in a hard bop sort of vein. I don't know. So please comment on that one. This is awesome. One of my favorite Sonny Rollins records, hands down. So the next one is one that I bought on sale, and I think like just like back in the day, and this only me guessing now, but just as back in the day, this didn't sell as good as maybe other Blue Note titles. Again, it feels like it didn't sell good when this came out either. When it comes to Blue Note records sort of releases, what am I talking about here? I don't know. Yeah, well, Fancy Dancer with Bobby Humphrey. 1975, so this is the record after, or maybe two after, Blacks and Blues, which I think is my favorite record by her. Again, a pretty big sort of lineup. You have some who's who when it comes to the 70s here. But really standing out is Julian Priester on trombone, maybe. And Dorothy Ashbury on harp. So yeah, and I tend to really enjoy smaller sort of ensembles more. But this is great. She continues to sort of stretch the jazz genre with that big slab of funk in it. And I don't know if it's that cover artwork or what it is that really bugs me a little bit, but maybe it would be a more inviting record with another cover. I don't know. This is awesome. Really good. Highly recommend. Yeah, this next one I don't think is that old either. What a record it is. I mean, Green Street with Grant Green. And Grant Green is fast becoming one of my favorite guitar players in genre. Like the tone he has and sort of how he approaches the instrument, it's just like a continuation of his body. It almost feels like that. It's so pure. His playing is so pure, warm. And on this one, with a trio setting, he can really stretch. You have Grant Green obviously on guitar, then Ben Tucker on bass and Dave Bailey on drums. And not much to say about the music. It's all great. There's not a bad second on this one, in my opinion. They do a version of Round About Midnight, the Monk song, which is a classic. It's been done 1 million times. But I think that in this setting, it actually feels a little bit innovative, actually, on this one. I have to say, of the records that I'm showing you today, this is one of the highlights, definitely. If you don't know this, check it out before you dive into buying this. But yeah, at least check it out, especially if you're a guitar fan. I mean, yeah. So this I can't remember how I got this, but this is one of the first ones that they released. And back then, like 3 years ago maybe, something like that, when they announced the classic series and the Tone Poets, they also had a series called the 80s celebration series or something like that, celebrating the 80 years of Blue Note. Now they are going into the 85 celebration, so yeah, 5 years ago. I got this sealed. I don't know if it's a repress or something like that. Anyway, doing the thing, the Horace Silver Quintet at the Village Gate, 1961, I think. And this, I mean, again, this is the classic Horace Silver lineup. You have Boo Mitchell, Junior Cook, Horace Silver, Gene Taylor, and Roy Brooks on drums. This is a fantastic. I mean, imagine just being one of the guests or a fly on the wall, maybe on this live take. Shit. And he's really playing his heart out on this one. I can just imagine Horace Silver being a great live pianist. I mean, he's great in the studio, but he really shines here. So highly recommended again for all you piano fans out there. So yeah, moving into Tone Poet territory. I think I have 5 records that I want to show you before I file them. And as you will see also, I mean, I put every single record I have in plastic sleeves. It's just part of the routine. But when it comes to these sort of audiophile pressings and or a little more sturdier releases, then I try to put them all in gatefold plastic sleeves. So, and I really think that it elevates the cover artwork to another level. I mean, it's a beautiful jacket, but with the plastic sleeve, in my opinion, it goes another nudge up. Anyway, this is Sonny Clark with Paul Chambers and Philly Joe Jones. So let's see here my notes here. Yeah, 1957. And this trio setting, I have to say, is perfect for Sonny Clark. But in my opinion, listening to this, I was most blown away by the rhythm section, which is Paul Chambers and Philly Joe Jones in this case. This is 1957. Imagine just 3 or 4 months after this recording, he went in to record Cool Strutting, which has gone to be one of the most known Blue Note records ever recorded. So in one way, this is the warm-up to that. And with the Tone Poets, we get, if there are any, the session photos inside of the gatefold. And there's the backside there. Thick cardboard sleeves. And as I said, in my opinion at least, these gatefold plastic sleeves really elevate it to another level. So the next one is a McCoy Tyner record, and I have to say this was a big surprise. I mean, if I find a Tone Poet for any sort of sale price at any sort of cost except for the standard cost, I buy it because I know that it's going to be quality. I don't buy everything. You can't afford to buy everything. But if I see something for €10 less than when it came out, obviously I'm going to jump on it. And I think this was one of those. So Time for Tyner. This is from 1968, I think. And just like the Sonic Clock, this has the session photos inside of it, and there's the backside. Thick cardboard box or sleeve, and plastic sleeves on them all. I have to say, I was super surprised. I got this, I got it home. There are vibes on it because you have Bobby Hutcherson on vibes. McCoy Tyner obviously on piano, Hubert Lewis on bass, and Freddie Waits on drums. And I didn't really know the lineup except for Bobby Hutcherson, which I think, in my opinion, vibes is probably my least favorite sort of standard jazz instrument. I have a hard time really enjoying vibes when it goes like full vibes. So I had very little expectations of this. I mean, for all the McCoy Tyner records also, this is maybe not the most talked about, but it blew me away. What a record. It really feels underrated. I mean, remember, this is just in between Tender Moments and Tender Moments. I have it in the background. Tender Moments and Expansions, I think it's called, which both of them has been issued as Tone Poets. Both of them equally good. Both of them very talked about. And then this came out and I didn't hear a word about it. No reviews per se. No sort of comparisons for, original pressings and stuff like that. And I think it's just a shame. I hail this as good as any of those two records that I just talked about, if not even more, because I really, really enjoyed this. This is 1965, and I have to say, of all the Tone Poets I have bought, this is music-wise my least favorite, but I couldn't sort of not buy this. I mean, look at that cover. It's just such a beautiful cover, and session photos inside. So this is Big John Patton with Let 'Em Roll 65, as I said, with Grant Green and Bobby Hutcherson, and I mean everything is sort of Otis Finch on drums. Grant Green plays great here. I think that it's John Patton's organ that really, it's just like not my thing, really. Anyways, it's still a Blue Note record. It's still fantastic music, and they play great. So I mean, it's still a hard 3 in my book out of 5. So it's still super enjoyable. I'm still gonna keep it. But yeah, of all the records that I'm showing you today, this may be my least favorite, and yeah, I think my least favorite of the Tone Poets that I've bought. So which leaves us to the last two, and I actually saved these two last because I think in my book these are 5 stars out of 5, both of them. When it comes to sound, obviously all of them sounds great, terrific, but when music, presentation, everything is just like, these are 5 stars out of 5. And the first one is a classic. This is one of the first Tone Poets I think that was released, Cornbread, and I can only sort of, I got this sent to me, I had it pre-ordered, I don't know how long, years I think by now, and so the only thing I can imagine is that they did a repress of this. I mean, they have said, Joe Harley, that is supervising the Tone Poet releases, has said that they are all going to be in print. but I can't imagine. I mean, this is a big seller. This is a 5-star record. This is one of the big ones that they have released. So obviously it's going to sell out, and then it's going to take some time, and then they're going to re-release it. But when it comes to, I mean, some of the other ones that I showed you, I can't imagine them repressing them every time they sell out if it takes years and years to sell out. Yeah, maybe you know. Please write in the comments. Anyway, this was definitely a repress. So yeah, Cornbread, Lee Morgan 65, I think, something like that. You have Lee Morgan on trumpet, Jackie McLean on alto sax, Hank Mobley on tenor sax, Herbie Hancock on piano, Larry Ridley on bass, and Billy Higgins on drums. A pretty good lineup. Yeah, session photos is great also. I think that this is one of my, if not my favorite Tone Poet release. Sound, music, everything just... Which brings us to the final record I'm going to show you, and this is a 6 out of 5. No, but a 5 out of 5. This is a masterpiece. This is one that everyone should get if you can get it. This is Freddie Hubbard's Breaking Point. James Balding, Ronnie Matthews, Eddie Kahn, and Joe Chambers. Now this is 1964. This is definitely not Freddie Hubbard's debut record. He has penned all the compositions on this, so he has written all of the material. It's great. It's a little... He's really stretching it. He's really trying to get himself out there. And the cover artwork, I feel, is perfect for this this record. Penned all the tracks, as I said, and remember, Freddie Hubbard is 26 years old when he is going in and recording this, with all of the tracks, all 5 tracks written by him. That's just like, except for one song, which is Mirrors, and which brings me to the next thing, which is just even more insane. This is Joe Chambers' debut recording. He hasn't recorded anything before this. This is his debut recording, and the guy is 22 years old. 22 years old, sitting behind all of these and playing their heart out. It's a fairly young sort of ensemble, but I mean 22 years old, and he actually has written the last track, Mirrors, on this one. Shit. So yeah, music, presentation, sound wise, and the cool cats. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Just wanted to show you those before I file them away. And if you have any comments, please comment, subscribe, and all that good thing. And I'll see you in a future video. Have a great day, everyone. Bye. So you made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and give this a thumbs up, because it really helps. It really does. Now, if you want more content, then just look me up on Instagram. I put stuff up there before YouTube, so a little bit of what's coming up, so to speak. Again, thank you so much, and have a great day, everyone. I'll talk to you in my next video.